Hello, this is a tutorial on how to use Plickers. Plickers is an assessment tool that can be used inside the classroom and in the gymnasium. It's very handy because you could record using just your cell phone device, as you see here. Okay, so first thing you want to do is go to plickers.com and sign up. Once you sign up and you get in, you're going to see this screen. This is your home screen. On the top you have library, report, classes, and live view. On this side you have your cards. So we'll go over that in a minute. First thing you want to do is set up your classes. So you want to click on classes and set up your classes. Okay, you go to add new class when you want to add a new class. So you can put PE 501, 5th grade, pick color. Okay, so you're going to see the screen once you create the class. So you may add students one by one onto the roster, or you could click on add roster and add the whole roster right here. You could copy from an Excel sheet or any other program and just copy and paste all students' names right here, and it should automatically go on to the roster for Plickers. Okay, so I'm just going to cancel out. Once you add your students in here, it should look something like this. Each student has a number right next to their name. This number indicates the card number they have assigned to them. I only have 31 students in this class, so I have left all these other cards. It goes up to 63 cards. So classes in a gym that are large, you could use this assessment and it will be a real quick assessment, and it saves up so much time. Okay, so once you set up your classes, you want to go back to the library and set up an assessment. So I'm just going to click new folder. This is going to be the fitnessgram assessment. Okay, so I have no questions right now, so I want to get some questions in my fitnessgram assessment. So you click new question and you add in a question. Okay, so once you have the question, you click is it a multiple choice or true or false. This is going to be a multiple choice, so I'm just gonna add in the multiple choice. So then you want to click which answer is correct. Then you can save it. When you save it, it's going to look like this. You can then add on to create a new question. So after you create the assessment, you want to print out the cards. The cards are right here. Click cards, and what's awesome about this is that you could print it or you could actually order it from Plickers on Amazon. But you could print it as well. I usually print out the largest piece, and I do this because I want to be able to scan the back of the gym without having to move around and not catch kids since I turn my back on them. So each Plicker card looks something like this. That's the large view. Then you have your standard, which is much smaller. You get 2 codes per card, per paper. So you could just cut it once you print them out and then hand them to the student. Personally, I have my students write their name in the back of each code. So the way it's used, you have the number on the side. This is the student's number. So if they're 1 or 2, that's how they indicate which card is theirs. Each side has a letter, an A, B, C, or D side. So when they hold up the option, they need to have that letter on top. So for example, if they chose option B, the letter B should be on top. If they chose option A, so this card would have to be turned. The letter A will have to be on top. And that's how Plickers simply picks up the code or which answer they are choosing. After you add in your classes and created your assessment in your library and printed out the cards for each student, you want to then download the app onto your phone. When you download the app onto your phone, you want to sign in. Then you could click on the assessment for the class you want to assess. And when you're scanning the room, it should look like this. These are my students holding up their cards, and my phone is reading their cards. So right now, they have each of them chose the option A because they turned their card that way. Right now, they're all green, so therefore they all have the answer correct. And you can see up here, I have 4 students that answer so far. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Allison is in green, but I still haven't assessed all these other students. So it tells me right on my phone who hasn't been assessed yet and who has. Okay, this is also another view right here. So it doesn't only pick up one card at a time, it picks up multiple cards at a time. You can see back here, my student is back here and it could read his card from all the way up here. Now a card like this, when a student holds it like this, it can't read the code clearly because sometimes the light reflects off the card incorrectly. So when you're assessing students, you could ask your students the question verbally, you could write it on chart paper, or you could click on live view. When you click on live view, it automatically connects to your phone. So if I was to scan right now my students' codes, it will automatically come, the statement or the question will automatically come to the screen on live view. Now you have a choice. You could either reveal the answers or you could hide the answers. So students' information is not shared with others. If you don't like this whole piece here, you could just simply hide a panel. Okay, and make the question or the statement much bigger on your screen. Once you assess your students and you have all that information, you then want to go to reports. Okay, if you go to reports and you go to question history, you can see the history of that question. So if 2 classes or 3 classes took it, you could see the history of that question. I personally like to go to the score sheet. When you go to the score sheet, you could simply see everybody's results. Okay, the green is the correct answers, the red are the wrong answers, and the blue is the opinion answers. There's no right or wrong for the blue. So I could just see up here, 94% of my students understand these 3 questions, but only 55% of my students understand this question. So this is something I wanna plan the next lesson around. What I like about this option is that you could click here and you could range your students from lowest percentages or lowest understanding to mastery. So now you know which students really need the help, and you can work with those students in helping understanding the content or the information. What's also cool about this is that you could go to print reports for individual students down here, and you could simply print out each report for every student. And this is simply a report card or the results on the test. What I'm hoping Plickers will do in the future is create a student access. So instead of teachers printing out the results, they could simply see it on the computer. Okay, so that is the tutorial on Plickers. So really, if you're teaching PE and you want a quick assessment without using pencils or paper or bringing out computers, this is a really cool way.